Imagine you are sitting in a rocking chair. Outside the window, the sun is going down. The light is soft and golden. The world is quiet. And in that stillness, you begin to think about your life, about the choices you made, about the years that passed, about the things you always said you would do someday. And then, slowly, quietly, a single question rises in your heart. Did I really live the life I wanted? That question, that one question, is the most powerful thing a human being can ever ask themselves. And the heartbreaking truth is, most people don't ask it until it is very, very late. I don't want that for you. If you are 60 years old or older, you are standing at one of the most important crossroads of your entire life. Behind you is a lifetime of hard work, sacrifice, love, and lessons. And ahead of you, more time, more freedom, more possibility than you may realize. But here is what nobody tells you. The biggest thing standing between you and the retirement you deserve is not your bank account. It is not your health. It is not even your age. It is the habits, the patterns, the old ways of thinking that you are still carrying, that were never meant to come with you this far. Today I want to talk about 9 of them. 9 things you need to stop doing after 60 if you want to finally feel the peace, the joy, and the freedom that this season of life is meant to bring. Stay with me, because by the time we reach the end of this video, I believe something is going to shift for you. I want you to think about someone you know, maybe a neighbor, maybe a family member, maybe even yourself, who spent their whole working life saying the same thing. When I retire, I'll travel. When the kids are grown, I'll finally do what I love. When things settle down, I'll start taking care of myself. And then retirement came, and the kids grew up, and things settled down. And somehow, they still didn't do it. They still waited, still held back, still lived as though there was always more time coming. Here is the truth most people don't realize until it's too late. Life after 60 is not about doing more. It is not about squeezing in everything you missed. It is not about being busier or more productive or checking more boxes. Life after 60 is about letting go. Letting go of the habits that drain you, the fears that hold you back, the expectations that were never really yours to begin with, the ways of living that worked for you once, but quietly, slowly, began working against you. When you stop doing the things that no longer serve you, something extraordinary happens. Space opens up, light comes in, and the life you always deserved, the one you worked so hard to reach, finally has room to breathe. So let's begin. There was a woman named Margaret. She was 74 years old. She had worked as a school librarian for 38 years. She had saved diligently her whole life, never spending too much, always putting money aside, always telling herself she was being responsible. When she retired, she had more than enough to travel, to eat at nice restaurants, to visit her grandchildren across the country whenever she wanted, to fix the kitchen she'd always said was too small. But Margaret didn't do any of those things, because Margaret was afraid. Not afraid of running out of money, not really. She was afraid of what spending it meant. She had spent so many decades in saving mode that she had forgotten how to enjoy what she had saved. Money had become her security blanket, and without it sitting in that account untouched, she felt unsafe. Let me ask you something. Is that you? Are you holding on to money not because you truly need it, but because letting go of it feels like losing control? Because spending it feels irresponsible somehow? Because you were raised to save and never ever spend. Here is what I want you to hear. Saving money your whole life so that you can die with it in the bank is not wisdom. It is fear dressed up as responsibility. You did not work 40 years so that your money could outlive you. You worked 40 years so that your life could be full. So please, use it. Wisely, yes. Thoughtfully, yes. But use it. On experiences, on people you love, on things that bring real, genuine joy. Money is a tool, not a trophy. Now here is the other side of that coin. Because some of you are spending, but on the wrong things. On subscriptions you never use. On clothes you buy and never wear because the closet is already full. On gifts for people who already have everything. On keeping up with appearances that exhaust you. Think about this. When was the last time you bought something and it genuinely made you happier? Not for 5 minutes, not for one afternoon, but truly, deeply happier. I once spoke with a man named Robert. He was 67. He had a beautiful house full of things, a garage full of tools he rarely used, a closet full of suits he no longer needed, a guest room full of furniture he had bought on sale because it was too good a deal to pass up. And he told me, quietly, that he felt suffocated. Not broke, not poor, suffocated by stuff. After 60, your relationship with money needs to change. It stops being about accumulation, and it starts being about alignment. Does this purchase align with the life I actually want to live? Does it bring me closer to peace, to joy, to the people I love? Or does it just fill a moment of boredom? Does it just give me the temporary feeling of having done something? Every dollar you spend after 60 is a vote for how you want your life to feel. Vote carefully. Here is the truth most people don't realize until they are standing at the edge of it. You can always earn more money. You can never earn more time. Think about the last year. How many hours did you spend doing things? Working extra shifts, taking on extra responsibilities, saying yes to things that took your time and energy, not because you truly needed to, but out of habit, out of guilt, out of the deeply ingrained belief that being busy means being valuable. There was a woman named Carol. She retired at 62, and within 6 months she had taken on a part-time consulting job. Then she joined 3 committees at her church. Then she started watching her grandchildren 5 days a week without being asked, because she felt guilty saying no. By 64, she was more exhausted than she had ever been during her working years. She told me, "I feel like I retired from one job and walked straight into 5 others." Let me ask you something, Carol, and anyone who recognizes themselves in her story. What are you afraid will happen if you slow down, if you say no, if you protect your time the way you once protected your paycheck? After 60, time is your most valuable currency. And you are absolutely allowed to spend it on yourself. Not every hour needs to be productive. Not every day needs to have a purpose that other people can see and measure and approve of. Sitting on your porch and watching the birds is a valid use of your time. Reading a novel all afternoon is a valid use of your time. Taking a long, slow walk with no destination is a valid use of your time. You have earned the right to rest. Now stop feeling guilty for using it. Someday is not a day on the calendar. I need you to really hear that. Someday does not exist. It has never existed. There is today, and there is the hope of tomorrow, and that is all any of us have ever had. There was a couple, James and Eleanor, who had a list. They'd had it for years. Italy, the Grand Canyon, a cruise to Alaska, learning to ballroom dance together, watching the sunrise from the top of a mountain somewhere beautiful. Every year, they said, next year, when we're less busy, when the kids don't need us, when we have more saved up. James had a stroke at 71. He survived. But the Italy trip, the one they'd talked about for 23 years, was no longer possible the way they had imagined it. Eleanor told me about this with tears in her eyes. She wasn't bitter, she wasn't angry, she was just quiet. The kind of quiet that comes when you understand something too late to change it. She said, "We always thought we had more time." What are you postponing right now? What is on your list, your own version of Italy, that you keep pushing to someday? What if someday doesn't come? I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm trying to wake you up. Because the trip, the experience, the thing you keep saying you'll do when the time is right, the time will never be perfectly right. There will always be a reason to wait. Book the trip. Take the class, call the friend, plan the reunion, start today. This one is so important that I want you to set everything else aside for a moment and really listen. Your health is not just your body. It is your freedom. It is your independence. It is the foundation on which every single good thing in your life is built. Think about this. What good is a fully funded retirement account if you are too sick to enjoy what you saved it for? What good is a beautiful home if you cannot move through it comfortably? What good is time, all that precious time we just talked about, if your body is working against everything you want to do with it? I know a man named Thomas. He was 65. He had never really been sick, so he assumed he was fine. He skipped checkups, ignored warning signs, ate what he wanted, never exercised, stayed up too late, and told himself he'd start being more careful when something actually went wrong. Something went wrong when he was 68. A diagnosis that changed everything. One that could have been caught earlier, managed earlier, if he had just been paying attention. Please don't be Thomas. After 60, your body needs more attention, not less. It needs you to show up for it, to keep the appointments, to take the medication, to move, even if it's just a walk around the block, to sleep, real, deep, restorative sleep, to eat in a way that gives your body energy instead of just filling space. You are not too old to get healthier. You are not too far gone. Every single day is an opportunity to give your body something it needs. And let me say this gently but clearly. Neglecting your health is not being tough. It is not being low maintenance. It is a form of self-neglect. And you, after everything you have given to other people in this life, you deserve better than that. Here is something I want you to consider.
How many decisions in your life, real, significant decisions, were shaped more by what other people might think than by what you actually wanted? How many times did you stay quiet when you wanted to speak? Dress a certain way because of judgment? Stay in situations that didn't serve you because of what leaving might look like? Spend money on things designed to impress people who weren't even paying attention? There was a woman named Patricia. She was 69. Her whole life she had dressed conservatively, spoken carefully, stayed within the lines, because she was deeply afraid of judgment, afraid of standing out, afraid of being talked about. After 65, something shifted in her. She started wearing bright colours. She started taking pottery classes and didn't care that she was terrible at first. She started saying what she actually thought at the dinner table. And you know what happened? Nothing bad. Nothing terrible. The people who loved her still loved her. A few people were surprised. And Patricia, for the first time in decades, felt like herself. She told me, "I wasted so many years performing for an audience that wasn't even watching." Let me ask you, whose life are you living? Yours? Or the one you think other people want to see? After 60, you have more than earned the right to stop performing, to stop shrinking, to stop editing yourself for other people's comfort. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have opinions. You are allowed to be exactly who you are, warmly, fully, without apology. Think about your typical morning. You wake up, maybe you make coffee, and then, before you've even fully arrived in your own day, you turn on the news, or you open your phone. And within minutes, you are swimming in a sea of crisis, conflict, catastrophe, and fear. Here is the truth most people don't realize. The news is not designed to inform you, not primarily. It is designed to keep you watching. And the most reliable way to keep someone watching is to keep them worried. I am not saying ignore the world. I am not saying pretend nothing is happening. But let me ask you something genuine. In the last 6 months, how many hours have you spent consuming negative news? And how much of what you worried about during those hours, how much of it did you actually have the power to change? Worry without action is just suffering. There was a man named George, 72 years old, retired, spent 4 to 6 hours a day watching news channels. His blood pressure was high. He wasn't sleeping well. He snapped at his wife. He felt anxious almost constantly, and he couldn't even always name why. His doctor suggested an experiment. 2 weeks with very limited news. 30 minutes in the morning, then done. By the end of the 2 weeks, his sleep had improved.
His mood had lifted. His wife told him he seemed like a different person. The world hadn't changed. George had changed his relationship to it. You cannot pour peace into your life while you are constantly filling it with noise. Choose what you let in. Your mind, your beautiful, experienced, hard-working mind, deserves better than a daily diet of fear. Here is an interesting thing I've noticed. When it comes to money after 60, people tend to fall into one of two extremes. Either they ignore it entirely, hoping everything will work out, avoiding the numbers, not wanting to deal with the stress of facing financial reality. Or they obsess over it constantly, checking accounts every day, losing sleep over market fluctuations, living in perpetual anxiety about running out even when they have enough. Both of these are painful, and both of them come from the same root: fear. The truth is somewhere in the middle, and it requires something that many of us were never taught: a calm, clear, honest relationship with your finances. Think about this. Do you actually know what your monthly expenses are? Do you have a general sense of what you have, what you need, and how long it will last? Not because you need to control every penny, but because clarity is the opposite of fear. And clarity is what gives you the freedom to spend with peace instead of anxiety. There was a woman, I'll call her Susan, who didn't look at her financial statements for 2 years after her husband died. The accounts, the investments, the bills, it all felt overwhelming and painful, so she avoided it entirely. When she finally sat down with a financial advisor at age 70, she discovered she was in better shape than she thought, significantly better. But she had spent 2 years assuming the worst, living smaller than she needed to, saying no to things she could have afforded. Don't let fear make your financial decisions for you. Get the information, get the clarity, and then live accordingly. This is the one that ties all the others together. I want to say something that might feel uncomfortable, not to frighten you, but because I believe you deserve honesty, and I believe you are strong enough to hear it. Time is finite. Your time, my time, everyone's time is finite. And 60 or 65 or 70 is not the beginning of forever. It is a reminder, a gentle, insistent, loving reminder that the time for someday is running out. What are you waiting for? Seriously, right now, in this moment, what specific thing are you waiting to do, or say, or feel, or experience? And what exactly are you waiting for? Are you waiting to feel ready? You will never feel perfectly ready. Are you waiting for things to be easier? Things do not always get easier, but you get stronger and wiser and better equipped to handle them. Are you waiting for permission? I am giving it to you right now. There was a woman named Helen, 81 years old, still sharp, still funny, still full of opinions. And I asked her once, "What do you know now that you wished you had known at 60? She was quiet for a moment, and then she said, "I wish I had worried less and laughed more. I wish I had said, I love you more often, and I'm sorry faster. I wish I had taken the trips and eaten the good food and worn the pretty dress instead of saving it for special occasions. I wish I had understood sooner that every ordinary Tuesday is a special occasion, because it's the day you actually have. Every ordinary Tuesday is a special occasion. Stop saving your best self for someday. Start being her today. So let's come back to that rocking chair. The sun is still going down, the light is still golden and soft, and you are sitting there looking back at your life. But this time, something is different. This time, you are not just looking back, you are looking forward too. Because there is still time. There is still today and tomorrow and the morning after that. There are still people to love and places to see and moments to feel fully and completely alive. You spent 60 or 70 or 80 years doing what needed to be done. You kept your promises. You showed up. You gave more of yourself than anyone will ever fully know or understand. And now, it is time to live for you. So let me take a moment to walk back through what we covered together today. Stop saving out of fear and start using what you have built to build the life you deserve. Stop spending on things that don't bring you joy and start investing every dollar in what truly matters. Stop trading your time for things without purpose, because time is the one thing you cannot earn back. Stop postponing the experiences that call to your heart, because someday is not guaranteed to anyone. Stop neglecting your health, because your body is the home you live in, and it deserves your care. Stop worrying about what other people think, because the only life you owe a good performance to is your own. Stop filling your mind with fear and noise, and start protecting the peace you have earned. Stop avoiding or obsessing over your finances, and start relating to money with clarity and calm. And most importantly, stop living like you have forever, because you don't. None of us do. And that is not a tragedy. That is the truth that makes every single day precious. I want to leave you with one final thought. You are not too old. You are not too late. You have not missed your window. The best chapter of your life does not have to be the one that already happened. It can be the one you are still writing. But you have to pick up the pen. What are you ready to let go of today? Think about it, sit with it, and then take one small step, just one, toward the life that is still waiting for you. Because you, my friend, after everything you have been through and everything you have given, you deserve to be happy. Not someday, now. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If something in this video moved you or made you think, please share it with someone you love who might need to hear it. And if you are ready to keep exploring what this season of life can truly offer you, I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. You matter more than you know.